Rogan says he rejected Harris campaign's interview conditions. Well, I guess that's accurate, but that's not really true, is it? As you know, Donald Trump's interview on the Joe Rogan Experience was an absolute blockbuster, up to 37 million views already on YouTube. Although if you search for it on YouTube, it acts kind of wonky and it's hard to find. It's almost like YouTube, owned by Google, has trouble with their own search engines within that. That seems weird, though, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm sure it's completely innocent, but that's okay because Joe Rogan went ahead and posted that entire interview on the X platform. If you prefer that one, you can watch it there. And of course, we don't even know the numbers of the Spotify downloads. The bottom line is absolute blockbuster success. 3 hours of an amazing conversation, by the way. And as I mentioned before, when Donald Trump booked this interview with Joe Rogan, it was a brilliant checkmate kind of move to Kamala Harris because it now puts her in a corner. She either has to agree to this, and we know that she will melt under the spotlight for 3 hours of just a very real, authentic, normal conversation with a person, which is what the Joe Rogan Experience delivers. She couldn't do it. She couldn't hack it. She'd be exposed. Or she would have to come up with some lame excuse as to why she won't do it. And it's basically a lose-lose for her campaign. They claimed over the weekend that they tried to make it work out, but they had a scheduling conflict. But now Joe Rogan has taken to X and has actually cleared the air about exactly what happened with Kamala Harris. Here's what he said. For the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen. Now, not only is it his sincere wish to make this happen and to have the longer 3-hour conversation like Donald Trump participated in the Austin studio, not only is that Joe Rogan's desire, but it's also the only fair way to compare apples to apples here, right? I mean, we've seen what Kamala Harris has done in other settings at other interviews. Look how she behaved with the Brett Baer interview, right? Showing up late with people waving at him and putting pressure on and all that stuff. Again, a revelation into how this campaign operates and how they try to protect her and how they try to manipulate the media. And I have such great admiration for Joe Rogan saying, yeah, we're not playing that game. We're not so desperate for you to come on our show that we will jump through hoops and do whatever it takes, which is what the networks do. You know, you make demands on Dana Bash, make demands on, yes, even Brett Baer. You make demands on all these other network games. Absolutely, Madam Vice President. We'll go wherever you want us to go. We'll show up wherever you need us to show up. We'll be happy with 10 minutes if you give us 10 minutes. Joe Rogan's like, no, that's not how we play this. These are the terms. This is how the interview happens. This is how we treat everybody. And if you want that, go for it. Donald Trump was fine with it. And I love how Politico is spinning this. Politico's headline, Rogan says he rejected Harris campaign's interview conditions. Well, I guess that's accurate, but that's not really true, is it? The Rogan team said, we'd love to have Vice President Kamala Harris come to the Austin studio, just like Donald Trump did, just like all of our guests do. We're not going to put a time limit on it. You know, if you really need to know, let's plan for 3 hours. But if it comes up short, then fine. It comes up short. If you have to leave, you can get up and leave. That's fine. But come on down to the studio and then we'll do it. It was Kamala Harris's team that said, nope. We're not going to do it your way. We'll do it our way, or we'll not do it at all. So that's not really Rogan rejecting the Harris campaign's conditions. That's the Harris campaign rejecting Rogan's invitation, the same invitation he extends to everyone who appears on his show. Right. And then, of course, the reaction to the Harris campaign deciding that they can't travel to Austin, they can't devote that kind of time to it, yada, yada. I mean, she just did Shannon Sharp's podcast and she traveled to see Shannon Sharp. And Valentina Gomez points out Kamala traveled to do the sex podcast, right? The
Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy podcast. Yeah. Where, you know, the day before they were talking about fellatio and sexual diseases. And well, I guess there is some harmony there in that booking. We turn now to Kamala Harris. She traveled to do the sex podcast. Charlemagne the God. Yeah, that's right. She went to see the fake demigod Charlemagne and sat in studio with him, but it's too scared to speak for more than an hour without getting the questions in advance. She's too stupid for Rogan. She's afraid and incompetent. This is what I meant by this being a lose-lose. She either goes and puts herself on a limb and actually endures a 3-hour conversation where she needs to actually reveal herself as a human being, unscripted, which would be devastating for her campaign, because the last thing they want is for you to see who she really is. Or she comes up with these lame excuses and she's shown to be the manipulative shrew that she really is. Other commentary: America deserves 3 unscripted hours of Kamala with you and Austin. This is a reply from Redheaded Libertarian to Joe Rogan. You would be fair and balanced. That's right. We deserve 3 unscripted hours. Wait, hold on a minute. What in the hell did we do to deserve 3 hours of unscripted Kamala Harris? Right? I mean, I know America's not hitting its stride right now. We could be better, but I don't think we've done anything that deserves that. I'm calling foul on that, Redheaded Libertarian. How dare you? A little bit more reaction here. Lisa Guerrero says, I think Joe Rogan is afraid to interview Kamala Harris because that would require a great deal of research and preparation that he's not equipped to do. Hold on. That's got to be snark, right? This is a joke. Well, she's getting ratioed big time. Look at that. 562 comments.
Can you show that tweet, Larry?
Oh, am I not? I'm so sorry. Thank you, man. I apologize. There it is. Lisa Guerrero. Joe Rogan's afraid to interview Kamala Harris because it would require a great deal of research and preparation that he's not equipped to do. Who believe this is a troll, right? Is this a parody account? Well, that's a take, all right. That is definitely a take. All right, so let's just regroup here and let you know where we stand. Joe Rogan extended the invitation in the Austin studio, 3 hours. You're welcome to come, Kamala Harris. Love to have you. Campaign comes back and says, nope, you need to bring your rig to us, travel to us, meet us up. We'll do 1 hour because she's a very busy woman. She's trying to win an election, by the way. And that's the only way we can do it. Rogan says, yeah, sincerely, we're going to do it in Austin. That's how we did Trump. That's how we do everybody. You can come here 3 hours in Austin. Otherwise, no dice. So it's no dice. But here's the interesting thing about that. That means that Joe Rogan has 3 hours of studio time available. And, well, if you're smart, if you're savvy, if you're trying to get a message out and you want to reach a big audience, you call up Rogan and say, listen, I understand you've got some free time here because Kamala Harris turned you down. So, surprise, J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will be going down to Austin tomorrow, and he'll be sitting for 3 hours. So both Trump and Vance, the entire Republican ticket, will have their individual 3-hour interviews with Joe Rogan. That's kind of a power move, isn't it? And a good one at that. I can't wait. In fact, honestly, as entertaining as the Donald Trump interview was with Joe Rogan, something tells me this J.D. Vance one is actually going to be even more expansive, more detailed, and maybe even more revelatory about who J.D. Vance is and what exactly the next 4 years might have in store for the American people should the election go the way we're all hoping it goes next week. That's smart, by the way, to immediately jump on this narrative, jump on this news cycle, and come back to the Rogan people and say, we'll do it. We'll take it. No questions asked. Anything. Absolutely. Let us in. And, well, it's happening. And I'm here for it. Can't wait. There's a lot at stake in this election, but regardless of who's sitting in the White House, the fuse on the economy has already been lit. 4 years of a conservative presidency will not be enough to turn the tide on our $35 trillion national debt. Almost every analyst will tell you that. And if the left wins, it's like throwing gas on a dumpster fire. We don't have much control over this election's outcome. All we can do is vote and tell 10 friends to vote with us. But you do have control over your savings, and you can diversify your savings right now by investing in gold from Birch Gold. For millennia, gold has stood firm in the face of greedy governments, economic upheavals, global strife, and it can protect you now. Birch Gold will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold, and it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. In the past 4 years, the buying power of the U.S. dollar has cratered. The price of gold has increased 40%. Text Larry to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. Trust Birch Gold as I do to protect your savings. Text Larry to 989898 today.